I know it's a gorgeous day, and it's hard to think a lot about flooding today, but we got to be ready for it. And the events of Houston, for example, and Oroville Dam in California tell us why we need to be ready. History is replete with incidents of flooding. In fact, if you look around the world, the natural disaster that kills more people every year on average is flooding, more than any other type of natural disaster worldwide. So I want to talk to you today about the Countyline Levee Setback project, which is along the White River. The White River is a glacially fed river, largely coming from Mount Rainier and the surrounding watersheds. This Countyline Levee Setback project is the first of two levee setback projects being implemented by the King County Flood Control District. It's designed to reduce flood risks and provide protection to residents, businesses, and other critical infrastructure like the rail line you see here, our highways, our county, state, and city roads as well. Protecting our businesses and property and lives is something we have been working on for many, many years, and our job is to provide funding and policy oversight for flood protection and programs throughout King County, and then to reduce those risks. That's what the Flood District is all about. So this is the Countyline project. The one we're standing on today is the largest flood control district project to date. About $24 million in putting this infrastructure in place. It was technically complex. It had a diverse funding partnership, and it involved multi-jurisdictional setting and a number of agencies. And you're going to hear more about the project's complexity and the challenges we went through, all of us, from some of the other speakers today, as well as its benefits. So I specifically want to thank the fisheries biologists from the resource agencies, the Muckleshoot Indian Tribe and the Puyallup Tribe of Indians for their collaboration as we develop the project and its design. So before I hand this off, let me mention that we've worked hard on this, and we're actually in Councilmember Pete Von Reichbauer's district. He's a supervisor and a key member of our executive committee on the Flood District. He's been a champion for this project, a very strong advocate since 2008. And I'd like to invite him to talk about why this project is so important to him and why he's been fighting for it on the Flood District. So thank you, and I'll come back in a moment to answer questions. Pete?
Thank you, Chairman Dunn, and thank you for being here today. This is a unique area. After the last summer we've had, and as a result of today, it's hard to think about flooding, but this is something that we're charged with as part of the Flood District. Behind me is where the new setback levee has just been constructed and where the floodplain is now reconnected to the lower White River, or as many longtime residents refer to, the Stuck River. The White River is unique. It is the only glacially fed river in the King County. It carries a significant amount of sediment, and that sediment has rapidly filled in the river. People in the city of Pacific know all too well what can happen in the wintertime. In January 2009, flooding affected more than 100 residents. Lots of people and numerous businesses were closed. Many residents and neighborhood roadways were also closed, and the people of this community were as affected as any community in the history of King County. By reconnecting the river to its floodplain and spreading out the flood waters, the Countyline Levee Setback project will help to address the flooding that impacted the city. Combined with a second project that will also build a new levee along the right bank of the river, the Flood District is providing a long-term flood risk reduction for Pacific and also improving habitat. This is truly a win-win for the community and for this incredible region. At this time, I'd like to invite the mayor of Pacific to share some of her comments, because she has been with us from the very beginning, advocating for this change. It's her residents that were most affected in 2009, and we've tried to address the problems that were raised at that time. Please join me in welcoming the mayor of Pacific. Leanne?
Thank you. My name is Leanne Geyer. I'm the mayor of the city of Pacific, and I'm going to tell you this is an extremely exciting day for those of us that live here in Pacific. We remember all too well 2009 when many of our residents were flooded alongside the White River on the right bank side. And with this expansion, this restoration project that's taking place in the expansion of 121 acres to allow the river to flow more is really going to provide added protection to all those that live in Pacific and provide us with some relief as we run into the rainy season. Again, it's hard to think about flooding, but trust me, it's been on the top of our minds, the city council as well as myself, to make sure that we protect both lives and property as we move into the rainy season. And we are extremely grateful for the King County Flood Control District and NOAA and all of our other funding partners to make this happy day come to fruition. And we're looking forward to the Right Bank project.
Hello, my name is Jason Leto. I work for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and I'm one of the Natural Resource Trustees for the Commencement Bay Damage Assessment. And I'm honored to be here on behalf of the trustees, which include the Muckleshoot Indian Tribe, the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, Washington State Department of Ecology, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and NOAA. We're also proud to be working on a project that is protecting lives and property, but it also has substantial benefits to salmon and other fish and wildlife species. The trustees have been working hard for the last 20 years to do restoration projects like this for the benefit of our trust resources, which includes salmon. And we've been pretty successful at that. We've completed over 20 projects, totaling over 300 acres of habitat throughout the Puyallup and White River. And we're certainly happy to be part of the Countyline project, which will give a big leap forward for restoration on the White River as well as salmon recovery. And it's been a pleasure working with King County and the Flood District on this project. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Appreciate that very much. And, over the last decade or so, we've seen the capacity of the White River go from about 25,000 cubic feet per second down to just 6,000 CFS. And the reason why that is all the sedimentation from upstream comes down and fills in the channel, which is one of the reasons why this was very, very necessary. So you've heard quite a bit about the project. I want to thank Joe and Steve and Josh and Michelle, Jeannie, and others, both from County Prosecutor's Office, Executive Director of Flood District, and from Waterland Resources Division at King County for their hard work on it. It's been 9 years in the making, essentially, putting this together, and so we're proud of the work we've done. We're going to do a tour, get a chance to see what we've done, and we're proud of not only protecting flooding and critical infrastructure, but also tying it into the environment where we can. We really want to try and protect the habitat for species, including fish, and you'll see some of the stuff we've done as a result of that. But before we do the tour, let's open it up for any questions you might have. We can answer them now, or questions we can answer along the way. Are there any questions? All right, very well. Let's take a walk. Thanks for coming.